So we are creating a Flutter app. So Flutter create app name will be layout demo. So we are understanding the Flutter core, means you can create a basic to advanced app in Flutter. So I just selected, you can do it by cd command, but I just selected folder so that it will be easy to me. So now let's go into terminal, debug your app and dot at the rate for Flutter. So it's running, it's building an APK. So finally it's run. This is a basic app layout. So we just want to create our own. We just have to understand the complete layout of Flutter. So I just delete it and I just started material. You can see that every Flutter app will start it on the top to import a material. It uses a material and we are using this shortcut for stateless widget, stateless and stateful widget. We are using both in this app. So we are going to use void main to run our app, then run inside a main. We are commanding the widget to run. So the widget name is my app. Okay, so just have a look, just control S and it's blank. So let's change to container to scatfold. So it's giving me error that media query dot off called with this. I'm just showing you this error. It comes if you started a Flutter in a basic that you don't know about Flutter. So I just use material app, then I just instead of home, and inside home I just call scaffold. So in scaffold I just use it, but it's giving me error that global key was used multiple times inside it. So I just finding out which global keys. So I just create one screen. So home underscore screen dot. So I'm creating import material dot. So now I'm using a stateful widget. So what's the difference between stateless and stateful? Stateful widget can be interact with the user. If user want to change the widget, you can change, and stateless widget can't be changed. So this is the most different. So I just linked it in home screen widget, which I just created a screen. So it's showing me blank because I returning the container. The container is don't have any values. So scaffold, it shows me the white color. Now I just go back to this and just define that I want to define only the themes. So themes means I just want a one color which will define everywhere. So primary is my first color which is used in my theme. So my app has a only one color, that is red. Colors dot red. So I just create one route to show you how you can routing. So all routes dot. So nothing here. We just create material dot, and to routing we just create dynamic all routes. So it's not a predefined, so you can change whatever you want the name. So build context, then the context, and then curly braces. Inside the curly braces we want to return the routes, so we just define inside the curly braces the route's name, whichever route's name we want to give in it, it can be shown in the routes. So this is a basic of routes, and we want to define it in the main.dart file as a routes dot all routes contest. So this is the most important thing because it's have empty, so it's giving me the error, so I just comment it. Okay, so this way you can define it as a routes. So let's go to create a UI. So app bar, first the title of the bar, then the title dashboard would be the text. So text, inside the round braces we just defined it dashboard. So it's taken a red color because I just defined it as a primary color. So whatever it takes the red color. So in the actions I just defined icon buttons, and inside icon buttons icons dot home. So it have many icons. You can choose icons dot many of the icons inbuilt in the Flutter, so you can use it. So on press button will used when we want to click it on the icons and what the functionality want to begin. So this is a basic of a app bar. Okay, so we now creating, we want to increase the size, so we just increase it into 30. So now let's create one more. This will be the widget. So I created a widget folder. Inside it I just defined a card underscore widget dot dart. So I just importing this into material dot dart, and I just use a stateful widget. So or stateless widget, whatever you want to use. I don't want to change the widget, so I just use stateless widget. So if you want to change it by your according to your data, you can use stateful widget. So I'm returning the container. So I just go to home, and I'm just defining a body. So inside a body I just call my widget and try it's calling or not. So I don't see anything. I just try to pass a card to see that it's showing me the card, but it's not because inside card it's nothing. So I just defined a child. Inside a child I just use inkwell. It's a clickable function. It's make a card clickable. So so inkwell is used to create a clickable card animations, and inside inkwell I just use the child container. Inside container I just use the child text, and inside text I just use order. So there will be the child, the children, there are many things inside Flutter. So we want to play with the child and the children in Flutter. So I just defined the width 100 and height 100, and I just align it in center. So text align dot center. So the text will come in the center. So I want to define this card. This widget was defined in the home. So I want to create a multiple card. So I just create one row and just copy paste my widget. Okay, so I just created a three card and I just align this card as an x-axis alignment in a main dot center. So it comes in the center, all the three cards. So I just defined a padding to give some padding to the card from the top. So in the padding age in seat I just use only, and I want to give only from the top padding. So padding 18, I just use padding to the container because we want to define inside the container because order was sticky on the top. So I just defined top 10, and inside order I just defined slash to come in the next line as a 343, and I just defined. So guys, I just defined this and I just increasing the width to 110. So 110 will be the height and the width. So inside it I just defined a font. Now I just defined a style, text style, to given it font. So I just define on the round braces font size, and I just define the size to 18. So it gives me some big font on there. So let's check. Okay, so I just define a shape. So I want to make a border radius. So in that I just want to make this as a border radius. So I just use a rounded rectangle. So rounded rectangle border, on the round basis I just use border radius. So border radius dot circle, and I just pass 20. So it shows me the border radius 20. So I just go down and I just format it so it looks nice and neat code. So now it's begin. The layout format, it's look like we are defining a column. So inside a column we define a children. Inside the children we are defining a widget. So this is how the format now. So change change the position, and I just use one column, and inside the children I just you cut paste my widget. So it's give me this type of layout. So guys, we are playing with this layout, and we just want to create a many more direction to understand that the row and columns was work how it works row and column. So now let's go to the normal way, and we are using this. We are just cutting this, and we are trying to implement expand did. So expand did child list view and builder. So it's give me a dynamic format of a data. If you want to use an array or you want to integrate an API, the list view is the best choice for you. So list view builder, I just item count will be the 2. I just want to print 2 times. So I just count my items to 2. I just now returning my widget. So I just passed this one time, okay, and it will show me 2 times. So this is how we are reusing this with a less code. We don't want to create this 3 times. We don't want to define this 3 times. We just want to define it one time, and it will show how many times you want to show. So this is like a for loop. It's looping and it's giving the value that it want to print 2 times. So I just define returning now the row. So inside row I just define 2 1 2 3. So now it's giving me 6. So I just making this align into center, so it looks nice and it keeps in center. So I just now align this. So I just increase the count and let's see what happens. See, say you are getting the point. If you want to increase it, it automatically gives me multiple times row. So this is how the layout works with the list view. This is how you can put inside in the list view to return the row. Now just a single widget and it's look like this. So I just creating a multiple layout so you can be able to design your app according to this, or you can customize your app by improving yourself, by improving your knowledge. So I just returning the card widget. I just trying again this, okay, it's showing me this. So I just want to now see how it looks like and attractive. So I just trying and playing with this row. I just want to increase the width height. Again I just put it in the center, okay. So now it's showing me 2 because the item count is 2. So it's like a for loop. If you know the for loop in JavaScript, or if you are learning C language from the start, so this is like a for loop but not a for loop. It has a many features in Flutter, but you can compare with a for loop. So I just want to now design some card looks. So I just want to add one button inside a card. So what I want to do it that this container, inside the container I have the orders and the 343 value, the order value. So I just use a column and a children. So now I can use one more. So I just using a raised button. Inside the raised button I just on pressed event, and inside raised button it give me a child. Inside child I just defining the text that is submit. So just save and see. This not look good, so but it comes in the center. So I just want to expand this to cut to the screen. So I just trying to be expand with the container by double infinity. No, it's not giving me that type of UI. So I just trying and I just, yeah, I can expand the column. So I just got this container and I just want to make the less code. So I just remove the container and check what it gives me without container. Oh, it's just a padding changes, but nothing more. So I just making the code to readable and the less code to works with the more functionality. So this is how you can define it as a cross axis alignment stretch. So it stretch the button and it stretch the entire column to left to right 0. So I just give one padding inside it 18. So it look now nice, but the order was stuck to top. So now I just want to color the button. So I just use theme dot or theme data or theme dot of round basis dot primary color. So it automatically get from my main with where I define my color is red. So now I just want to border shadow. So in the card border shadow we use evaluation eval evaluation. So evaluation 10, and I just define this column and row, but it's not look good and attractive. What is missing in this? So I just try to give some padding also. So trying to give padding. Now it's look, but button was not look good. So I just trying to give proper padding. So I just want to give only padding to the top. So top 18. Now I just come down to the button section and I just define text color as a white. So let's see. No. So I just shape the button to the border radius. So rounded rectangle border. We want to define it. Border radius dot circle, and inside the round braces we want to define 20. So now it's look somehow good, but it's don't have the space in between. So we want to define a space in between. So I'm just checking how we can do it. So I just use this widget, and inside this widget I just define this card widget and I just define 18. Now let's look good. Okay, so So if you like the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for latest update.